It's a question that really cuts deep, doesn't it? Once a cheater, always a cheater. Mm. That phrase, it just has this immediate sting, this feeling that once a line's crossed, well, that's it. It can never really be uncrossed. But is that actually true? Is genuine change possible after betrayal? Or is it just, a hopeful myth? Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really confronting the raw agony of infidelity. We're going to unpack the psychology behind it and scrutinize whether true transformation is it a myth or maybe a miracle? We're drawing from fresh 2025 studies, some really compelling survivor stories, and therapeutic triumphs to test this whole theory head on. So if you've ever found yourself staring at a partner's phone with that sense of dread, or maybe wondered if your own mistake could ever really be forgiven, well, this deep dive is definitely for you. We're going to try and unravel the truth together. Now, before we really dig in, if you're looking for more great information like this, please do visit Mind Expansion Daily. And hey, while you're at it, please like and subscribe to Mind Expansion Daily. It really helps us keep getting these insights out to you. And if you appreciate what we're sharing today, you can also buy us a coffee. The link is right there in the description. We also genuinely want to hear from you as we go through this. Maybe challenge yourself. Leave a comment. Do you agree, disagree with our take on this incredibly complex topic? And please help us expand our reach worldwide. Let us know in the comments where you're listening from. We love seeing that global community grow.
It really is fascinating, though, how deeply this one question impacts relationships. And we're going to explore all the nuances because, as our sources really suggest, it's just not black and white, not at all. This is kind of a journey into the human psyche, isn't it? And its capacity for change.
A deeply personal one for so many people. So when that journey does take a turn into betrayal, what does that immediate fallout actually look like? Our sources really hammer home that betrayal isn't just, breaking vows. It's like an assault on your very sense of self.
Absolutely. People report this intense cocktail of grief, rage, this soul-crushing doubt. It often looks a lot like PTSD symptoms, actually.
Right, that hypervigilance, the flashbacks.
And even brain chemistry shifts.
Yeah.
Things that mimic addiction withdrawal. It's a profound physiological and psychological event.
Epidemic event, yeah.
It truly is. And there's data to back this up. A 2025 Psych Central update. It reveals that a staggering 70% of people who've been cheated on grapple with long-term anxiety.
Wow, 70%.
And the really profound implication here is that this isn't just about that one relationship. You see this trust erosion. It seeps into their future bonds, too.
That makes sense. It scars you.
Critically, yeah.
Yeah.
And divorce rates? They spike 2.5 times after infidelity is discovered. The ripple effects are they're profound. It impacts way more than just the couple involved.
And that profound pain really makes that once a cheater, always a cheater idea resonate, doesn't it? It feels like a shield, almost, like evolutionary armor to protect yourself from getting hurt again.
It does. It's a defense mechanism.
But then it also feels like it might be, I don't know, oversimplifying things, especially when you see stats like 1 in 5 Americans admitting to premarital cheating. That's from 2024 stats. It makes you wonder, are we maybe all a bit closer to that edge than we like to think?
That's a challenging thought. And it's not just the person who was betrayed who suffers. The person who cheated often experiences intense guilt, self-loathing. Sometimes it perpetuates this awful cycle of secrecy and more pain.
A cycle, yeah.
And that cycle of pain and secrecy, it doesn't just stay with a couple. It casts a much wider net. It can touch entire families, even generations. Our 2025 medium analysis actually highlights how 70% of children from homes where infidelity occurred inherit what they call trust phobias.
Wow. Passing it down?
Exactly, perpetuating these generational wounds. So you can see why we armor up against the idea of change. It feels protective. However, just dismissing change out of hand ignores a fundamental human capacity.
Yeah.
Our ability to grow.
Okay.
Neuroscience, which we can get into, shows that brains can actually rewire with effort. New fidelity pathways can be forged. This isn't just like a hopeful thought, it's biology. It suggests that with deliberate effort, the actual patterns of thought and behavior can be physically rewired. It gives a scientific basis for hope.
So even with all that pain and that very real risk you mentioned, past offenders are 3 times more likely to cheat again. There's still this glimmer of hope.
There is.
It's fascinating that 60 to 75% of couples actually try to stick it out after betrayal. They're not doing it just because, but because they see a flicker of possibility for transformation.
Right. It's a powerful drive to repair.
Which brings us right back to the big question. Why do people cheat? And can that behavior truly stop? We kind of know it's rarely just sex, right? What did the sources say about the deeper stuff?
You're spot on. It's rarely superficial. When you dig deeper, the roots often snake through the psyche's underbelly. They stem from unmet voids. Take attachment theory, for instance. It really spotlights out insecure attachment styles play a role.
How so?
Well, avoidance, people who fear closeness, they might flee intimacy through casual flings that feel safer.
Mm.
Anxious types, on the other hand, who crave reassurance, they might seek validation elsewhere if they feel insecure in the relationship.
Okay, that makes sense. Different styles, different motivations.
Exactly. And then you have narcissism. Narcissists, with their empathy deficits, might view partners more as, well, props for ego boosts. And certain personality disorders can exponentially increase the risk. Sometimes, though, it is simpler. Situational slips, opportunity knocks during high-stress job loss, midlife crisis, and impulse just overrides ethics for a moment.
Those deeper fractures,
Mm.
like cracks in the foundation. A 2025 Psychology Today piece actually flagged 5 key accelerators. Things like emotional disconnection, low self-esteem, thrill-seeking,
Mm-hmm.
and alcohol haze, and yeah, prior betrayals acting as learned behavior. Like they saw it, so they do it.
Learned patterns, absolutely. And sources do mention common gender differences sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Women perhaps citing emotional voids more often, men maybe physical novelty, but honestly, both often crave an escape from routine, from the grind.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
escape. And the paradox is how cheaters rationalize it, right? Saying, oh, it meant nothing. When really they might be masking deeper stuff like intimacy phobia or unresolved trauma. It's easier than looking inward.
Precisely. Which leads to that critical question. Is genuine lasting change actually viable? And our sources confirm, yes, brains aren't static. Neuroplasticity, that's the brain's ability to reorganize itself, form new connections, it allows for this rewiring.
So you can literally change your brain.
With effort, yes. Therapy is key here. It's designed to unmask those triggers, rebuild empathy circuits. And techniques like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, help people identify and change those destructive thought patterns, reframe the urges.
How does that work, like practically?
It helps shift the internal monologue from I can't resist this craving to maybe this craving will pass and fidelity actually fulfills me more deeply.
Mm.
There's a landmark study from DU, Denver University, that affirms this. While recidivism is a real risk, people committed to introspection, things like keeping self-reflection journals, attending boundary-setting workshops, they slash their risk by 40%.
40%. That's significant.
It's effort-intensive, absolutely,
Huh.
but demonstrably doable. You even see it anecdotally online. Forums like Quora have people sharing things like, I cheated out of fear. Therapy taught me vulnerability. I'm 5 years faithful now.
That's powerful, real change stories. But we should add the caveats, right? Our sources point out that pathological cheaters, compulsive types, maybe with diagnosed sex addictions, they face a much steeper climb.
Much deeper, often needing medication alongside intensive counseling. It's a different level of challenge.
And for the betrayed partner, let's be really clear. Forgiveness isn't automatic. It's not required.
Absolutely not. It's a Herculean task, as one source put it. It demands significant time just to mourn the loss of the relationship as they knew it, before trust can even tentatively begin to thaw.
Okay, so with those psychological blueprints in mind, let's step out of the theory and into the messy real world, real life relationships. Do these ideas actually hold up when trust is shattered? Let's talk about Sarah and Mike. Their story was in a 2025 Affair Recovery article. Mike had a one-night lapse, shattered a decade-long marriage. Sarah was devastated. She almost left.
Which is common. Statistics say 50% bolt right at discovery.
Right, but Mike, he owned it. That seems crucial. No excuses, full disclosure. And they dove into Gottman therapy. That's the research-backed approach, right? Focuses on communication, conflict.
Yes, building shared meaning. And it's proven to help heal about 70% of affair-wounded couples. It has a strong track record.
So what did that look like for them?
Well, their therapy sessions really dug into Mike's avoidance roots. Things like childhood neglect had apparently bred this deep fear of commitment. So Mike journaled his triggers, he went to men's groups for support, and Sarah, crucially, voiced her hurts without judging him. That allowed real healing to start.
That sounds hard, slow.
Oh, it was glacial, according to the article. Weekly State of the Union check-ins, date nights, but strictly no phones, even transparency apps to track whereabouts for a while.
Wow, building trust brick by brick.
Exactly. 2 years in, trust bloomed again. Sarah had this amazing quote, "He's not the ghost of that mistake. We're deeper now, forged in fire." Their story really mirrors those 57% survival rates you see with committed counseling. It takes sustained effort from both sides.
Such a contrast then to someone like Alex, the serial strayer mentioned in the sources, 3 affairs in 5 years, each time. This is the last time, I promise.
The classic pattern.
Therapy apparently unearthed narcissism, but he quit after just 3 sessions, blamed his partners for being controlling.
Deflection. Avoidance of responsibility.
Unsurprisingly, he cheated again. Now he's single, isolated, and that DU data really nails it. Unrepentant cheaters quadruple their betrayal odds in the next relationship.
Quadruple. It's a stark difference. It just highlights how critical that genuine commitment to change really is.
It really does.
Absolutely. And then there's Lisa's story. Hers was about pivoting from an emotional affair. An online flirtation started out of boredom in the marriage, but it escalated.
That happens a lot these days, the online stuff.
It does. When it was discovered, it cratered her self-worth. Her husband was reeling, demanded she leave, but Lisa's remorse seemed genuine, and it ignited real change. She did solo EMDR therapy.
EMDR, eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing helps with trauma.
Exactly, to heal her own abandonment wounds. And group support helped her build accountability. They eventually reconciled through attending an Affair of the Heart retreats together. They came out with what the sources call affair-proofed tools, things like radical honesty pacts, finding shared hobbies again to reignite their spark.
So they rebuilt it.
They did. By 2025, they're parenting twins. Infidelity is a distant scar, as one therapist noted. Recoveries may be 80% effort, 20% forgiveness. The effort has to be there.
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting. These stories, Sarah and Mike, Lisa, they aren't just like lucky exceptions.
Right.
That Miami Psychology Group meta-analysis from 2024, it confirms couples therapy after infidelity actually boosts relationship satisfaction by 65%. Communication is the absolute key.
65% boost.
Yeah.
That's significant improvement.
Totally. And sure, triggers might linger, anniversaries, a certain scent, a place.
Of course, those memories don't just vanish.
But tools like mindfulness apps can help dull them. Change isn't about erasing the past, it's evolution. It's this continuous process of growth and adapting together.
Well said. It's ongoing work.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? How do you potentially guide someone who's cheated towards lasting fidelity, towards renewed commitment? It really seems to come down to clear tools for transformation and also for prevention, for the person who cheated. Ownership. That seems non-negotiable. No, it just happened excuses.
Zero wiggle room on that one. Take full responsibility.
And transparency, full password sharing, maybe location pings for a time, doing an affair autopsy to really understand what happened, why it happened.
Painful, but necessary for rebuilding.
And therapy, mandatory, really. Emotionally focused therapy, EFT, seems particularly good here. It helps couples understand those underlying emotional needs, the patterns driving the behavior.
Yes, EFT focuses on rebuilding the emotional bond by addressing the fears beneath the surface.
Okay. And for the betrayed partner, what are the tools for them?
Equally vital steps. Things like grief rituals, whether that's journaling, joining support circles, even symbolic acts to process the event's loss.
Yeah.
Healing is essential.
Acknowledging the grief.
Absolutely. And boundaries. They need to evolve. Clear expectations. Like, okay, I need weekly reassurances for now, not daily interrogations. It sets a new, healthier framework for rebuilding trust.
Right. Defining the new terms.
And critically, self-care. Fighting that self-blame trap. Psych Central notes 40% of betrayed partners internalize the fault. That's just dangerous and unfair.
Remembering it's not your fault.
Paramount. You are not to blame for their actions.
So beyond dealing with the immediate aftermath, prevention becomes key, right? Fortifying the relationship going forward.
Definitely. Coactive measures.
Our sources recommend things like preemptive audits, like annual relationship checkups, just to flag any drifts before they become huge chasms.
Like a yearly physical for your relationship. Catch things early.
I like that analogy. And there are communication tools. Apps like Lasting that sort of gamify communication skills. Books like After the Affair by Janice Spring that map out the recovery path.
Practical resources are available.
And in 2025, with everything so connected, digital detoxes, maybe consciously curbing virtual temptations. Studies link social media to a 30% uptick in affairs.
That's a significant link. Disconnecting from screens sometimes helps partners reconnect with each other.
Yeah. Now, what about the critics, people who say forgiving just enables them?
It's a fair point to acknowledge. That concern is real for many.
It is, but the data seems to dispute the idea that it always enables. Those recovered couples reporting 25% higher intimacy scores than before the affair.
It suggests that going through that fire, if navigated with profound effort and commitment, can sometimes forge an even stronger, more intimate bond.
Sometimes. But it's not for everyone.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And the sources acknowledge that about 25% wisely choose to walk away. They honor their self-respect. And that is a completely valid, often courageous choice, too.
Right. There's no single right answer.
The key is figuring out which path best serves your well-being, your healing, your future.
So let's circle back to where we started. Is a cheater always a cheater? Based on this deep dive today, the answer really seems nuanced. It's a spectrum, doesn't it? Shaded by will, by work.
Definitely not a simple yes or no.
Some people do seem to loop back into those old toxic patterns, but others genuinely leap towards lasting loyalty. Therapy often acts as their wings, you know? Deep introspection is their guide.
The potential for change is there.
The pain of betrayal is universal, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that potential for genuine change, it seems undeniably real. And maybe in 2025, with mental health becoming less stigmatized, with all these powerful therapeutic tools becoming more accessible, redemption, rebuilding, maybe it's more possible than ever before.
You've journeyed pretty far with us today, exploring these really deep, complex human experiences. So now, maybe we ask you to choose. Will you just cling to the old adage? Or are you willing to bet on transformation? Hearts can heal bolder, stronger, more connected, yours included.
And if betrayal has touched your life, whether you are the one who cheated or the one cheated on your story is so vital, please share in the comments if you feel comfortable. Did trust rebound for you? Or we're saying goodbye the necessary path to healing? We genuinely want to hear your perspective. And please don't forget to tell us where you're tuning in from. We love seeing our growing worldwide community. And of course, please like, subscribe, and maybe consider buying us a coffee if you found value in this deep dive today. The link, as always, is in the description.